Hey guys, Lambros from Station 5 here with Michael Hamilton. He's an entrepreneur and he's worked in software testing for some awesome companies, top tier telecommunications companies and financial institutions here in Sydney. Mate, how are you?
Oh, very good, and hello everyone out there.
Reason I wanted to bring Michael on board is, or for this video, is because one of the things that I've been talking to people a lot about, namely friends and colleagues, is about kind of creating the importance of a minimum viable product when you're developing software. People often kind of think about this huge idea and they want to change the world with their software, which is great in theory, but we need to take a step down and think about things realistically and kind of initially penetrating the industry and also validating an idea is actually good and that people will use it. Mate, firstly, can I get your general thoughts about the importance of creating a minimum viable product or an MVP, and also maybe a bit of insight as to the first steps people can take?
Yeah, no problem. Look, what I'm finding is a lot of people have an idea, right? And they want to make it massive and scalable quickly. To do that, you spend a lot of money. Now, you're not going to spend over $50, $100, $200,000 to build something that no one's going to use, right? Or it doesn't work, or it's you're trying to do too much too early. I recommend doing an MVP so you can actually just target a particular niche or industry and just spend a little bit of money and test the idea out with the most basic functionality, right? That way it allows you to test with the market. Do you go any further with the idea? Maybe the market doesn't like it. But you spend a little bit of money to find out, do I go and invest more money and time, especially, in taking an idea further. I can't stress that enough. That's just the stuff I look at for the last 15 years. Very important.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
In terms of kind of stages, I mean, what sort of, just to give people a rough ballpark figure, what sort of investment should they really be anticipating? And the reason I ask this is because people often think, they need to go seek out investors and that sort of thing from the early stages. And I always think that if it's something that perhaps you could do on your own, it's obviously a lot more viable. It means you don't have to give out equity before the business even exists. You don't need to seek help of friends or family, whatever it may be. Can you maybe give obviously it differs per industry and per idea, but can you give people a rough idea as to the sort of investment they can anticipate for their initial software? Obviously there'll be a huge range.
Yes. No, look, rule of thumb, I like to keep it very small, condensed. Like $2,000 to $4,000 is sufficient to get something, started and get it to a point. I say spend 6 weeks as a rule of thumb and $4,000, $2,000 just to get to that point of MVP closure, right? And get something out to market and test it with some of your user groups, right? To me, that's a really good medium to do. And make sure you focus on the basic functionality that you want the audience to use. I can't stress that enough also. Try not to do everything. So prioritize what you want to do and how you want to communicate. So 6 weeks, $2,000 to $4,000.
That's Australian dollars.
That's Australian, not US, all right? But look, just it's a good rule of thumb. Now, you can also adjust it, time and the money side, but that's an investment I think that's worth pursuing.
Perfect.
Bootstrapping, like VC companies just say they want you to bootstrap, or they encourage you to bootstrap for a period of time before going to them. Some of them do that. Yeah. So the longer you bootstrap, you hold on to your equity, you hold on to more of your business. So it's a good idea and a good approach.
Yeah, and mate, one final question just for the audience. In terms of rollout strategies, obviously you've seen everything with these top tier companies and how they roll out software. They don't just roll out to the masses straight away, as people probably think. They get an update on their iPhone and they think the whole world's seeing it at the same time. So the question I ask is, in terms of rollout strategies for startups, I know we talk a lot about geographical location. Can you shed some light on that as well?
Well, usability testing, it's called. Basically, before you go live, you get a bunch of users in there from your niche, from your target audience or your market, not from every industry, and get them to use and then fine-tune the product as you go along. So once you start the first week of development, get the users in each week. Just help you give feedback and test it for a couple of hours. Now, that doesn't mean you pay them. You might give them movie vouchers, or you might give them some sort of incentive to come in for a couple of hours, but sit with your team, like sit with the developers, the designers, and get direct feedback from them, and then fine tune it into your software as you go along. Yeah. I can't stress that enough. And then by the time at the end of 6 weeks, you've got something that's really fine tuned, ready to be launched, and a little bit of a mass scale to get some feedback from the market.
But don't roll out to the whole world at the same time.
Don't roll out to the whole world.
Gradually, geographically, yeah?
Do it geographical, so maybe you can do it by district thinking, depending on where you live. State driven, just maybe local community down the road. You might want to launch with the local mayor or something like that, with something of a little town or something like that. Just keep it small, fine tuned, and then once you feel comfortable, you can then go and expand larger. because it takes a bit more money to to deliver scale.
It does.
It
Well,
does.
a lot more, I think.
Oh, it does very
Yeah.
much. But Amazon and these cloud services allows you to scale quickly, but it doesn't mean you have to put all these load balancers and all this
Exactly.
performance enhancement right from the get go, and that costs money to do.
Yeah,
So
but
take
not to worry about that just yet.
Not yet, not yet.
We'll
So
get there.
yeah, so that's my recommendation, and I see that a lot, and that's just my experience for the last 15 years. Yeah,
Perfect.
awesome.
Perfect. Thanks, mate.
No problem.
All right, guys, leave your comments down below. If you want Mike back again, we can get him back in for some more questions, but post them down below and we'll respond as quickly as we can.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you. There we are. That's good.